friends, I'm Akash, and this is your News of the Week for the week of August 7th to August 13th, 2022. I'm Akasha Cody, and our top story today is that the FBI, the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, has executed a search warrant at former President Donald Trump's Florida mansion, Mar-a-Lago, in search of classified documents that Trump was alleged to have wrongfully taken from the White House at the end of his term as president. This search warrant was obtained by the FBI and the Department of Justice from the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida, which is where Mar-a-Lago is based, and was personally approved by the Attorney General of the United States, Merrick Garland. Now, where did this all come from, and why is the FBI raiding the house of former President Donald Trump? Well, this is thanks to an old act of the law from 1978. It's called the Presidential Records Act, and it states that presidential records are owned by the United States government and not by the specific private presidents themselves. And that means all of these presidential records should be archived by the National Archives and Records Administration, or NARA, at the end of a president's term in office. But when President Trump left office in 2021, he had taken some of the classified presidential records over to his mansion in southern Florida. And this mansion is called Mar-a-Lago. So, over the following months, NARA contacted Trump's aides, lawyers, and representatives to sort it out. And eventually, in January 2022, former President Trump gave the United States government the missing records. And you might think that the story ends there, but well, the FBI suspected Trump had not given all of the presidential records that he had, which would be against U.S. law, against the Presidential Records Act of 1978. So the FBI partnered with the DOJ, Department of Justice, to investigate this. And in May of 2022, the DOJ issued a grand jury subpoena to Trump's lawyers regarding these classified documents. And it was here that they were tipped that there were definitely still more documents that Trump had been withholding from the government. So, on August 5th, 2022, federal magistrate judge Bruce Reinhart of the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida, where Mar-a-Lago is located, approved this search warrant on suspicions that Trump had withheld important documents of national security. And so, on August 8th, 2022, FBI agents just executed this search warrant, seizing 11 sets of classified material, including one labeled at the highest level of security. Eventually, these files will be unsealed, and now we can see that President Trump is apparently being investigated by the FBI for both potential obstruction of justice and violations of the Espionage Act for his involvement in taking these classified files over to his private mansion. So that is what is going on with the FBI raid of President Trump's house. Next up, an update on SpaceX, Elon Musk's space company, which since 2015 has been launching satellites through a project called Starlink, which wants to provide the world with internet access through satellite connections. In 2019, SpaceX began launching these satellites into orbit around Earth. On August 12th, 2022, SpaceX launched a batch of 46 more Starlink satellites. This is part of Phase 1 in the multi-year launch of Starlink. Currently, SpaceX Starlink is available in 36 countries and has been used by the United States Space Force to help stabilize military communications over the internet, and by Ukraine to supply the Ukrainian population with internet during the Russia-Ukraine war. There have been several complaints, though, regarding the amount of satellites that are going to be up there around Earth's orbit, and it's going to very much affect other space missions because these satellites may serve as just space debris once they're old enough. And plus, there's going to be a large effect on light pollution as well, with the amount of visible satellites becoming ever bigger. But SpaceX has announced to mitigate these issues in the future through some other plans. And hopefully, we're going to see that the whole world may one day be running on Starlink and other similar systems which revolve on internet from space. And that is pretty cool. Alright, now time for a brief COVID-19 update. As COVID-19 cases seem to be decreasing worldwide, with 700,000 daily cases across the globe. 121,000 of those are from the United States. But deaths are beginning to rise again, as the previous wave results in the deaths of more than 2,700 worldwide, 600 of those from the United States. And that is all of your news of the week for the week of August 7th to August 13th, 2022. Thanks so much for watching. Love you, Akash.